All right, thanks for joining me. Listen, the ultimate goal, we're talking about extracting maximum cash from your email list, right? The ultimate goal of this video series, and in particular this video that you're watching right now, is to show you ways that you can get the absolute most money from your list. Because, listen, not all list techniques are created equal. Just because you got a list of 20,000 subscribers does not mean that that's going to be filled with money for you. Because let me tell you a little story before we jump into the training here. I've done a lot of product launches, a whole lot. I've worked with various big name internet marketers, and in particular I have had my own launches where I get some JVs on board, for example. And just to tell on myself, this happens to me too, so it's not just them. Okay, but I'll have people that have a list of maybe 50,000 subscribers, and they'll promote a product for me, and they'll get, maybe 300 hops, 300 clicks, and make a few sales. And then I'll have maybe a JV that has 10 or 20,000 subscribers, and they'll get, like 1,000-2,000 hops and make hundreds of sales. Why is that? It's because of the way that we cultivate our lists. And the same things happen to me, right? I've sent out emails in the past where I would, send out one email maybe to a couple thousand people and get hundreds of clicks. Whereas I might send out a list to a couple thousand people and get, 100 clicks. What's the reason for that? That's what we want to divulge to you in this training. Is there are things that I have learned over the years, things that other marketers have learned to increase the amount of response that we get from our list. And that's really what it's all about, is cultivating your list and getting a better response. Whether that is increasing your open rate, which is how many people, if you send out an email to 10,000 people and 5% of them open the email, that's pretty pathetic, right? When I send out an email, I hope to at least get 50-60% of the people actually open it. And of course, you can attain those numbers. I'm going to show you how with this series. The open rate is one thing to take into account. The action rate, how many people actually do what it is that you ask them to do in the email. Click a link and check something out. Reads, getting people to actually read the email, and of course that leads to the amount of people that take action. So what I've done is I've divided this video up into several different sections. How to increase your writing, the actual email, how to make that be just exactly the best that it can be, what kind of things to put into your content, how to manage your campaign, that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right into cater your writing. First off, know what your list wants. And before I get going here, let me tell you, this particular video that you're watching here is going to be just chock full of some tips and expertise and experience. So we're going to go through it fairly quickly. I've got a couple other videos in line for you as well, but this particular one right here, we're just going to hit topics. I'm going to tell you about them and why you need to do them. So know what your list wants. When was the last time you actually asked your list, what would you like? I mean, it's actually like common sense, right? To know what they want. How do you know what they want? By asking them for it. Set up a campaign. I totally suggest you do this immediately. Set up a campaign with the whole purpose being to find out exactly what your subscribers are looking for. Are they looking for tips to, get traffic? If they are, if you're in the internet marketing niche and your subscribers are looking for ways that they can get traffic, what do you need to do? You need to find products, or you need to develop products, or you need to develop some, put together some free webinars or something where you talk about getting free traffic. Because if you give them what they want, I mean, they're basically making you a list of things that they're willing to buy. If you send out an email right now and say, hey, I really want to know what you're interested in, what you need help with, please help me out, fill out this survey that I've got going. If they take the time to actually do that, They're basically saying to you, hey, if you show me a product that's on this, I'm going to buy it from you. I mean, it's that simple. Write like you speak. One tactic for this, it's kind of hard for people. They tend to flip-flop and change like into some kind of editor or publisher when they write an email. The most effective emails that you can write will be ones that sound like they're really coming from you sitting down one-on-one with an individual. So a tactic for doing this is after you have outlined everything that you really want to convey to the individual and you have learned the tactics of what to include in your email, formulate that in such a way where you just basically sit down, and it's best if you can grab yourself a microphone and do a little recording. Write like you're talking to one person and then record your email. What would you say to them? And then you basically want to listen back to that and write that just like you talk. So write like you speak and write to one individual. Don't write to a group of people. Yeah, you're going to send this out to 10, 15, 20,000 people, but one person at a time is actually going to read your email, and this email needs to touch that one person. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some things to include in your email. Get those in mind, kind of write them down as an outline, and then talk, just like you would one-on-one with an individual. One of the first things you want to do in your email is tell them who you are. Do this in the very first paragraph. You might say, hey, this is Jeremy Burns, and I want to talk to you about whatever. Okay, so tell them who you are. Right, this alone will increase conversion rates because they more than likely get a lot of email from a lot of different people. And especially if they're in a pretty highly competitive niche, they probably get, emails from several marketers that are in that niche. So what you need to do is after you have cultivated your list like I'm going to share with you in this video, you're going to get a much greater response if you tell them right away who you are. If they see in the email, oh, this is so-and-so. I like his stuff, so I'm going to pay attention. That increases your read rate, which, of course, increases your action rate. Tell them the benefit of what it is that you got going in that email. Tell them right away, immediately after you tell them who you are. The way that you do this is, I'm going to touch a little bit more about the content in the next slide, but it's basically giving them a preview. Tell them what it is that you're going to do for them immediately. That's very important so that they see that, you kind of want to weed out the people that won't be interested anyway, but you want to make sure that you grab the people that would be interested. If they have sent out to you, if they responded to your survey and said, hey, I need some training on getting free organic traffic, then you're going to say, hey, this is Jeremy Burns, and I want to show you how to get loads of organic traffic absolutely free. So you tell them the benefit right away, tell them who you are. Then you want to close with a personal message. One of my favorite tactics to put in an email, and this is very powerful, folks, is before you're getting ready to close, you've delivered what it is that you want them to do, and they've got the call to action and all of that. You need to put right in there, not just to your success, blah, 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 Jeremy. No, you want to put a personal message like, hey, I'd really like to make sure this works out for you. So if you've got any questions or if you run into some kind of problem, make sure you send me an email and I'll see if I can help you out. Regards, Jeremy Burns. And they put your email address right there where they can actually get a hold of you. You know what this does? It's not that you're going to get like a flood of emails now just because you put that in there. But what it does is psychologically it tells them, hey, this individual is personally interested in helping me out, helping me to be a success, whether that success is losing weight, building muscle, repairing my credit, or buying a house, getting into real estate, doesn't matter what it is. They're actually interested in helping me, So I'm going to listen to what they say. And if they recommend that I should, click on this link and check this opportunity out, then I'm going to do it. So it's just, it's something that you're adding in there to give it, again, that personal touch, like I actually care. And when we start out with that personal touch and throughout the email, it's got that, when you're writing to one individual and they feel that, they sense that, it increases your response dramatically. Content tips. Touched on this just a moment ago. Quickly give them a preview. You need to share with them what it is that you're promoting, how it's going to benefit them. And they need to see that right away. That way, if you jump into some big, long story, that doesn't, it's not going to so much catch them as so much as if you would to tell them, here's the result of what I'm going to, what this is all about. Let me illustrate that for you. If I'm into After Effects and Photoshop and all these things that have to do with creating some pretty dazzling, killer-looking content, and one of the things that catches my attention is when a tutorial that I watch online, or maybe I buy a lot of training, and as a matter of fact, I bought one on After Effects just last week. And I got it, and they'd use, the reason that it caught my eye and that I bought from them is because they use this very tactic. Their tutorials do not start out with, hey, we're going to make some really killer text, and the first thing you need to do is push this button. They don't do that, okay? And then you got to wait till the end. When I see tutorials online that do that, where they start out right away in the tutorial, and then you go through, and then you get to the end of the tutorial, and then there's the finished result. It's like when I see a tutorial like that, and it starts out step by step, and it doesn't interest me. I move on. It's like I want to see up front, what is this tutorial going to teach me how to do? So this tutorial series actually that I bought online, that's the way that they do it. In their tutorials, they're like, and it's on After Effects, so it takes a long time to build up this project, right? So what they do is they show you right at the beginning, hey, here's what we're going to make, and they push the play button, and they let you see how dazzling it is. And that hits you, right? It relates to you. You're like, hey, I can make that? And that hooks you. You're like, okay, I want this, because it's going to they show you right up front, here's what we're going to show you make. Same kind of thing holds true for your marketing. You want to show them, look what I'm going to do for you. You have to sell the dream. And that of itself is going to make people read the emails more. So if you can relate to them, here is the benefit. I'm going to give you kind of like right in the first paragraph, right after I tell you who I am, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for you, and then they're going to continue to read. Use several links in your emails. This is contingent on the size of the email, obviously, okay? But minimum, really, you want 2 in there. And it's the same link. That I want to stress that. The same link to the same thing, not several different links, which I'll mention that later on. But you definitely want to give them multiple opportunities to go to your offer, whatever that offer is. If it's a longer email, then you'll think about, 3 or 4 links in the email. You got to be careful because you don't want to, have any deliverability issues. And if you've got like a high spam score, which is another thing we'll talk about later, that's going to, one of the things that triggers that is a bunch of links, a whole bunch. But if it's a pretty long email, having 3 or 4 links in there is okay, because there's a lot of content along with it. One of the things for your content, one of the things that you can do that will excite people is to do an interview. With this, you find, let's say you're going to promote a product. You've got 10,000 people on your list, and they're all interested in this specific niche. So you're looking for a new product to promote. Instead of just sending out a blast that says, hey, come check out this site and buy it. Instead of doing that, you're going to take a little bit of care and planning by contacting the creator of that product. See if you can get them to do an interview with you.